This is Villa View. Coming up, John Carew and Martin O'Neill reflect on an FA Cup fight back, and Matt Kendrick fields your questions. Hello and welcome to Villa View. I'm Andy Walker, and as ever today I'm joined in our Fort Dunlop studios by our man at the Villa, Matt Kendrick. Welcome, Matt.
Hello there.
Well, you're back from Majeski, and I see it was a tremendous second half fight back. In no small part to a man that's bigger than me and you, John Carew. What did you make of it, Matt?
It was without resorting, well, I am resorting to cliches, it was the game of two halves, wasn't it? Villa seemed dead and buried in the first half. Whether that was a hangover from the Carling Cup, possibly a bit of the fact that Reading came out with all guns blazing. But 2-0 down at half time, you thought, well, it's just the Champions League chase now for Villa. Second half, John Carew was like a man possessed, as were a number of his teammates. 3 goals in 11 minutes. John Carew completes his hat-trick with a late penalty, and Villa go marching back to Wembley in the semi-final in the FA Cup. It was just remarkable, really.
Well, as Matt said there, one of the outstanding performers on Sunday was Ashley Young, and we were lucky enough to catch up with the Villa winger after Sunday's result.
Of course, I think the way we started it was unacceptable, and the manager told us that at half time, and we knew we had to come out and start brightly, and the way we got the goal early, I think we was just on the front foot from there, and it was all going our way, and the way the boys performed, it was a great team performance, and I think John will take a lot of the plaudits, which he deserves.
How do you explain the transformation in the second half?
No, that we had to look. Everybody had to look each other in the eyes and just go out in the second half and do better than we did in the first. We seemed kind of a bit surprised by everything. The conditions was a bit difficult, and the ball was a lot in the air, and we didn't seem to be really up for the fight. And then in the second half, we went out there really with more desire and really showed that we really want to go further in this competition.
That's the thoughts of one of the Villa's goal scorers there, and we also had the chance to hear off Villa boss Martin O'Neill.
I've said before that John at his hungriest, really at his hungriest, can perform like that. You saw he got the goal, he got the equalising goal for us, and his game lifted him, 2 or 3 fold, maybe even more. And the goal gave him that sort of confidence. He goes in, and then the next thing you know, he's controlling and holding players off, which he wasn't doing in the first half. So, and this is the point. He can do it, and I want him to perform. Not necessarily. You're not asking him to be scoring hat-trick every week. I'd be delighted with that. But a level of performance that is up there with top-class centre forwards.
Well, Matt, that was the thoughts of Villa boss Martin O'Neill there. And shortly after that recording, he obviously discovered that his side will face Chelsea in the last 4 of the FA Cup. Okay, it's a trip to Wembley to look forward to, but do you think he would have preferred the draw to have been somewhat kinder to his side?
I think so, yeah. I think they'd have obviously liked to have saved Chelsea for the final, providing it wasn't a repeat of that dreadful final in 2000 when they lost 1-0 and infamously failed to really turn up that day. But if you're going to win this competition, you've got to beat whatever teams are left in it. Imagine if they do beat Chelsea in the semi-final, it'll give them a massive confidence surge for whoever they meet in the final. My main reservation really is playing these semi-finals at Wembley. I think Wembley should be kind of sacred and left for the real showpiece occasions. But Villa have got another trip there to look forward to, and hopefully that'll give them a massive boost and reflect on an improvement in their league form as they push for that Champions League place.
So we turn to one of your questions here. This is from Richard Naycott's Green. And no doubt many people will want to know the answer to this. But do you think that John Carew has now done enough to warrant a start at Stoke on Saturday?
I personally believe he's done enough, yeah. To score a hat-trick like that, and it was a pretty impressive hat-trick. I mean, he's obviously the third one was a penalty, but it was a very confidently dispatched penalty and brilliant header, and the little flick that he scored for his other goal was superb. I mean, it's the ongoing argument about Carew. Can he produce that week in, week out? Perhaps not, but I think he at least deserves the chance to show it again on Saturday. Obviously, if Gabriel Bonahor's fit, he's your top scorer. He's your main man in terms of attackers for Villa. And I'm sure Martin O'Neill would be extremely tempted to bring him back in. I personally think there's scope to play all three, to leave Emile Heskey and John Carew as your kind of your forward partnership, and perhaps bring Gabby in on one of the flanks and give one of your wingers a rest. But only time will tell.
Exactly. Thanks anyway. And thank you for joining us. And we'll be back next week to take a look back at that game at Stoke. Thanks, and we'll see you then.